Hey there, it's June 18th. It's late afternoon. I just finished a Ironman 70.3. It's called the Patriot Half Iron. It's the location is actually Freetown, Massachusetts. So I got this cool hat and a cool medal. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So my swim was really exciting. I almost swallowed a lot of water, but I didn't. So that was a win. And then I ended up going really hard in the swim. I didn't want to hold back this time, and I just didn't. I really went for it. Sometimes I would go out. I think in my brain, oh, I'm gonna go out easy, you know, and I'll come home hard in the second half, and that just hasn't worked. So I tried to kind of really bang it out, and you know, my goal was to be in the higher heart rate zones, like maybe 4 or 5 in the swim, and I'm pretty sure I did that. I'll have to check the watch, you know. And then in the bike, the bike was cool. I actually wore like a long sleeve shirt, and I didn't want the sun to tire me out, so that's why I wore this, they call them compression shirts. So I ended up wearing that, and you know, it really worked well. I have to say, it was really, you know, it was great. I also put a lot of Aquaphor all over, you know, keep things moving along. I even put it in my socks, like in between my toes, because I really hate when I'm in a long, like, run or a bike, and like one toe is kind of stuck in a position. I mean, that drives me crazy. So yeah, you know, Aquaphor was probably my best friend today. And yeah, you know, so the bike, I also decided in the bike to really go really hard, like zone 4 out of 5 and some zone 5, and that was okay. That worked out like pretty nicely, because you know, before you know it, I was like 30 miles into the bike. I ended up drinking, and I think I learned this wasn't a great idea, but I drank about 7 32-ounce bottles of Gatorade in the first hour and a half on the bike. I guess I was thirsty, and you know, by the time I got to my run, my stomach was kind of gurgly, so it wasn't easy to really run and feel great. So, you know, I guess I learned that lesson. And yeah, another thing that happened on the run, and I did a lot of walking, unfortunately, but I had a nice pace going. I discovered the Power Gel Salty Peanut gels. They have like electrolytes and whatever. And you know, I wish I discovered them earlier, because I think there's a little actual peanut butter in them, and that's one of those things that always kind of grounds me and brings me back to like a happy place, you know, is peanut butter. Because you know, I pretty much eat peanut butter like 3 times a day, usually. Well, 2, sometimes 3. And so yeah, that was really cool. You know, and I think out of the 13 miles, I probably walked about half, ran about half, and for the second half, I really didn't even need to drink any fluid, because I had so much fluid in my stomach from riding the bike and kind of being like Captain Chug-a-Lot, you know, like I just pounded those Gatorades. The Gatorade is like twice the sodium and 30% more sugar than normal Gatorade. So I didn't really cramp up, at least my legs didn't, but my stomach kind of cramped up because it was like, why are you drinking this much Gatorade, you know? And I didn't have a good answer. Next time I'm going to actually alternate 2 Gatorades to 1 water. I think that's a smart move. Also, when I was swimming, I was really charged up for the swim because I actually trained for the swim like maybe 6 weeks, and I was thinking about my boys at Springfield the whole time, and that really got me going, you know, like I felt really charged up thinking about my crew, and I wanted to make them proud and really kick some butt, you know. So I really feel like I accomplished that today. And oh yeah, so when I got back, this is cool too. My cousin Peter, he had a really good race, and he actually waited for me. He finished, I don't know how much further ahead of me, but he's a great cyclist, so he really cranked it, and he was already dressed and his car was packed when I got back. But he was there to high-five me at the finish line, which was nice. And wow, I look Asian. Anyway, he high-fived me, and you know, then he went and got meatballs for me. And I guess there's like this catering place that catered the meatballs and the whatever, and the food. And I just pounded like 6 or 7 meatballs and a couple of, I don't even know whether it was tuna salad sandwich or chicken salad. I didn't care. It was like I turned on the vacuum and I just was like, you know. And it was really wonderful to have real food in my stomach, and that made me really happy. Yeah, so the venue is really beautiful. I think it's some kind of camp, and I think some Catholic church runs it. So there's like a church, a chapel, there's like event buildings, all these statues of Jesus and Mary all over the place. So when I was running, I had about 0.1 miles at the end, and I blurted out, "Thank you, Jesus, you know, for letting me finish this thing." I mean, I felt like hugging the statue, but I don't know. I probably would have cramped up and fell over or something. I don't know if you're supposed to do that. So anyway, that was the conclusion. I kind of came home. It wasn't one of those photo finishes where you sprint. Those are kind of dangerous, like in the sense that you can cramp up, you know. And you know, and then it turns into a bad thing just because you're trying to make a gallant finish, you know. And anyway, I think the name of the game is to keep your pace, cross the finish line. Oh yeah, they gave us wet towels wrapped around a water bottle, and then they gave us the medal, you know. So sorry, it's a little messed up, but yeah, so it was like towel service at a fancy restaurant, you know. Like, of course they didn't roll up the towel, they rolled it around the water bottle, and that was a nice touch, you know. I also made sure I tried to thank like the volunteers and the police, and you know, there were a lot of people that were here to try to make the situation nice, you know, and accommodating and special, you know. So it was very nice overall. So yeah, I would say that the venue itself is very special, and I really appreciate the venue quite a bit. I like that it's relatively flat, so I wasn't climbing monster hills on the bike. Definitely a little whoop-de-doos, you know, here and there. Little whoop-de-doo hills, which didn't seem like little ones at the time. They just seemed They seemed larger than they really were because they were there and I was trying to get up them. So yeah, it was a challenge. So I would say overall it was a humbling experience. There were a lot of really good athletes here. Some of the people that would go by on their bike, some bikes make this really interesting noise. It's like, it kind of sounds like a TIE fighter from Star Wars, if you're old enough to know what that is. It's like that, and kind of like a car passing you, but it's more like a TIE fighter that like Darth Vader would be in. And yeah, so that was kind of neat. Usually the people that would be riding on these said bikes, they'd be going like 22 to 26 miles an hour, and I was somewhere in the 17 to 20 range on the flats. And so usually people that invest in these TIE fighter bikes, it usually accompanies a higher level of skill, you know. So anyway, yeah. So overall, it was great. Yeah. Anyway, it's been a super day. I have no idea what my stats are, but that's a little thing I can check out later on my app. You know, like what time did I spend in this heart rate zone or that heart rate zone, and all that jazz. Anyway, so yeah, here's my little bike, my bag of stuff, and I kind of have the bike is pretty stacked. I did everything I could to it, so you know, to make it kind of race, like a race bike. Like here's the cool water bottle and the straw. So you know, this actually created a lot of efficiencies for my race because I didn't have to reach down and grab the water bottle. Oh yeah, and you know, for those audience members at home who are a little older, this is a water bottle full of Ensure Plus because I wanted to try to offset some of the Gatorade with, like, you know, like a meal replacement. It didn't sit in my stomach too well, but it was a good experiment. And then here's my bi-saddle, which it's probably my best friend because it just works really well. It's relatively comfortable. Also, I was number 667, so I really dodged a bullet there. You know, one digit off. So I think someone was looking down on me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and these, the banana holder, I mean, it served its purpose, but I never ate the banana. So, you know, it's kind of like a wait and see thing. Like, oh, what do I feel like eating? And the banana, that didn't elicit a response for me to actually want the banana, so. And then here's the Gatorade Endurance formula, which I've had enough of today. Thank you very much. But it did its thing. I did get a comment on the my bike color. It's like an iridescent purple green, and I have grown very attached to my bike. I put these little cool aero bar thingies on it so I can lean forward, and you know, it fits this special water bottle, which is really cool. And oh, I also got this really cool light back here, and I decided to splurge for it because it's very stroby. It's very stroby, you know. People can see it on the road from like way back, which is nice because no one wants to get run over. Yeah, anyway, I also kept some treats in here. I did a lot of the strawberry banana gels today, and this is without caffeine. I figured out the caffeine kind of upsets my stomach in the race, so I'm probably not going to do that next time. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to bike a nice wash down when I get home. Well, not tonight, but anyway, that's the deal, folks. You know, I hope you all are doing great, whoever you are, wherever you are, and I'm going to sign off and go Ironman.